everyone, I hope you're all well today. Today's reading is going to be a request from Soul Scientist, and it's about what happens in your relationship after the passion has waned. Oh God, that sounds so negative. She basically wanted to know what goals and values would you have in common after things had died down a bit. That's a nice way of putting it. So basically when the relationship becomes a little bit more secure and what will go on, how will you communicate? So that's what it's about. Don't know what the title's going to be yet, but that's where we're heading. So I'm going to use different tarot cards for each person in each spread, so I've not stuck them underneath. So let's get going. Your first choice is purple, your second is blue, and your last choice is a little red ball. So if you want to take your choice, and then we'll get moving. Okay, let's go. Purple ball first.
La música de Harry Fraud.
Oh gosh. Right then, okay, I'm going to have to, because this is quite a big spread, because I've got two people here, I'm going to pull the cards out as I go along to show you. Your person is coming across here as the Tower, the 9th house, Mercury. So I think once you start getting your fluffy slippers out and settle down a bit, this person will still need to be stretched intellectually. There will be somebody who's always looking and pushing, somebody who may have a political bend with the 9th house here and the Tower, and somebody who doesn't like to sit on their heels or their haunches for too long. But with the Mercury here as well, this person needs to push boundaries in intellectual ways. It makes me think of somebody who has a whole stack of books by the side of the bed and who wakes you up at 6 in the morning talking about some political issue or something that is really important that's on their mind, and you'll be like, for God's sake, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. That type of feeling. So somebody who has a real fire in their belly for intellectual pursuits, somebody who reads and discusses and likes debates. So this will be the type of person who you have you're having a dinner party and you're talking about folding washing, or you're talking about, I don't know, who's got the nicest picket fence, and this guy will be, or this man or this woman will be like, let's talk about something really contentious, and you're like, no dear, not quite yet. That type of feeling. So somebody who needs to be mentally stimulated is quite prepared to make it uncomfortable as long as it's not done. Right. I'm getting a feeling of somebody who, with regards to your question, could be with a 9 of Wands here. I haven't pulled out over all the cards yet because it'd be too much for me to take in. But with regards to what I've just said, I think your person could be quite defensive about his or her free time. There could be somebody who likes to spend a lot of time on their own, researching and looking and thinking and wondering about life. It's a type of person that could take off a trip abroad and just pack 50 books and then come back 3 weeks later, and they just need that time to themselves. It's not an insult to you, it's just how this person works. They like to be friends with their mind in some way. But on a positive side, in both of the same position, in both of your spreads, you've got the Queen of Cups. This person likes the thought of having quite a stable family life where the emotions are sweet. They might like a debate, but it wouldn't be with you. Or it'd roll over your head and you just have to get used to it. This is somebody who quite likes the thought of having a sweet connection and a comfortable home life. Somebody who likes their man or their woman to be there when they get home from wherever they've been and just to cuddle on the couch and things to be sweet. They like a genuine, strong affection. I don't know whether their home life was very good or they like to replicate that. They would like to replicate, if it was good, that feeling of just being able to go home and hide from the rest of the world with regards to, whatever work pulls out of you, whatever is hard. It's like a shelter. They would look at their home life like a shelter, and I think there's a strong pull towards family, as in having their own family, which you both share this, I think. Once again, at the end of this spread for them, the Four of Wands is stability. With regard to the Queen of Cups, this person wants stability. They want a really stable home life to possibly bring children up in. I'm going to say that. Now, you're coming across as the King here. So let me go to these first, excuse me. This is you, with regards to what you will be like when things settle down a bit. You've got the King of Wands, the second house from Chiron. So I wonder whether finances will be something that will always be important to you. And I think this person possibly could match you on that. If they like stability, they are quite prepared to put the effort in to make sure that the home life feels safe. Which I know at the moment is quite difficult, but I'm just wondering if this is in the future. So Chiron there's some sort of past hurt, probably to do with how they value themselves. Excuse me, this is you. How you value yourself, and possibly the feeling of not having enough, or not in some way your resources. There may be some hurt to do with resources, so you need to feel comfortable. It makes me think of free school meals. Do you know that when you go up and you have a free school meal in school, and they shout out the number of the free school meal, and I'm not saying this is you, I'm not saying you had free school meals, but it's that feeling of cringing, of not having quite enough. And that was something that may have stayed with you. I'm not saying free school meals, it could be anything. You could be really rich, but there's still that feeling of being aware that it could be taken from you, never having enough. So it's just a stability that you crave. And I'm going to say a financial stability here. But the King of Wands, you like life to move, you like to roll with life, you like life to be fun. So you'll be somebody who wants to go, finances. If you want your finances to be stable, it will be for you with the King of Wands to do whatever you choose to do with it. And I'm thinking you want life to be an adventure. So you would want money in the bank, your resources to be quite flush so that you could go snowboarding in the winter and to Mauritius in the summer. That sort of, you want life to stretch your boundaries. This person does too, but I think it's very intellectual, and they like discussions, they like debates. You probably will gel on this one really well, though. You like to push boundaries as well, but you like to do it with movement rather than just moving your mind. Right, this is where it gets interesting. Very similar to your person, you like the thought, the King here and the Queen of Cups, you like the thought of a really strong bond with regards to a marriage or a love relationship that just feels like, the type of person who said, this is my man or this is my woman, and it makes you feel good. There is a real feeling of wanting to have a family and have children with what the cards that I've turned over so far, quite strong in both of you. So you will find that quite a comfortable match with a pair of you. Now you, I think, are more highly sexed because you've got the Devil at the end, and with the King card, it makes me think of Leo and how a Leo, I don't know if your person is Leo, but it makes me think of how their love language would be the way that you would need to give this person love would be in a very Leo style. So it makes me think of something that's really loud, where you have to basically do a lot of acting and that sort of pantomime love feel where that person needs to know that you are with them and enjoying yourself. It's not somebody, your person, I don't think, especially with this tarot card here, we're very pleased with somebody who's quite shy. They want somebody to adore them and to basically to act out them being the king. So you've got the king here and the devil card here. You know, this person likes to be adored in some way. Okay, let's go. Right, I'm going to start turning the other cards over bit by bit, but to be honest, that is a succinct, that's not very succinct, a succinct answer. Oh my God, I can't say it. It's that those two cards together have got me. Basically, that's the summing up, and these will just add a little bit more flavour to it. Okay, I think at the moment your person is this. And I think that's where the attraction is. I think your person is quite feisty. So if you look back, if you were sat together and you were talking about when you were a little bit younger together, you know, remember when we met and you were so feisty and so full of life, and basically you were like just some sort of bouncing puppy, and that's what probably drew you towards this person, because you've got the King of Wands here and this person's got the King of Wands here. So those both together make me think that you are probably connected together now because you like life to move in a fun and frivolous way, and you like life to be exciting. And I think there's a real strong, passionate pull, sexual pull between the pair of you. To have these two King of Wands here and to have the Tower card and the King and the Devil, you know, that is quite a strong pull there. So that's what you're rumbling on at the moment. And there's a real, he or she, the other person in the situation, feels as if there's a real strong emotional connection, or the possibility of just you finding you to be their equal and finding you to basically make their life better because they feel like they're accepted by you, with the Two of Cups and the King of Wands here. Right. Oh my gosh, okay. Once again, you've got the feist behind you. You are somebody who likes to communicate. You like strong communication. I think you are a very passionate person, and you feel that you have found this ultimate person that you have been looking for a long time, and they basically just make you feel good. But once again, you have got the Princess of Pentacles here. So the difference I'm picking up here, that when you two, when the passion dies, which I don't think it's going to be honest, with you two, finances are going to be much more important to you than them. To be financially stable is something that's important to you more than this person. This person clicks on a more intellectual level. They want things to, they need to be intellectually stimulated continually. They need time to themselves. A really strong need to have a family. More so from you, but they would be able to fulfill that in you, and be happy with that. It's something that's strong in your chart, but it's definitely there in their chart too. But this person, you know, when the kids are young, if you did settle down together, would need time to themselves. There's somebody who would probably need to go abroad for a week or two, or need to hide for a week or two on their own, because it would make them actually a better parent. They just need, it's like an Aquarius need to pull yourself out, get yourself together, you know, to decide who you are and where you are, and then come back and live it again. That really strong feel. So the question was, once the passion dies, not going to with this part at all, would you share the same personal goals and values? Okay, yes, you would with regards to having a family. The passion would be there. Your person's a little bit more intellectual and needs time to themselves, but you both have that really feisty quality of wanting to get together and move together and do things together rather than just sit at home all the time. So your values are very similar. Your values are very similar in the fact that you need to act on life rather than have life act on you. Your values differ slightly in, I think, your need to be financially secure. To me, there's a strong need to have family as well. I'm going to finish that there, because I don't think, if I said it, I would be, I do know I'll be repeating myself. I don't think I could give you any more there on that, because these two paths are really good together. I get this image of two people dressed in quite sporty, easily moving clothes, getting on a flight and going somewhere. This person took your ear off because they're so excited that they're moving and they've got 10,000 books in their bag and they're discussing something in the newspaper to you. So this is what it would be how when it settles down. And then when you get to the hotel, the person basically hides in a book for a couple of hours and just it goes really quiet. You're wondering in your little book about finances, and then you talk maybe about how things are going to develop when you're further on in the relationship and how you both like a family. You feel really sexually connected to this person, and so this person does with you. They enjoy the physical contact, and that's so important to you too. Really nice pair. Really nice pair. A really nice, a pair of spreads. Yeah. I'm going to finish there, pile number 1. I hope that helps you in some way. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again. Bye. Hi there, pile number 2. Let's get going with your spread then. So basically, when the passion dies, we're not using that because that's quite negative. But when you move on in a relationship, what values will you share? Will you share the same personal goals? Will you be able to communicate well? I'm going to do 2 spreads, one for them, one for you, and just see how they basically pair up. So let's get going. Right then, pile number 2, really interesting spread. Let's go with your person first, just to have a little glimpse at their personality. Now, they are coming across the Page of Pentacles, the 6th house, and Mars. The Mars in the 6th house and Page of Pentacles is somebody who puts a lot of time into their work. They like to feel as if they get really stuck in a work situation. If it's not work, it's somebody who likes to do stuff and keep busy all the time. It could even be housework, heaven forbid. But it's somebody who gets their recognition through putting effort in, and it's normally to do with service to others. Doesn't make me think of somebody who's in like a boss position because it's the Page of Pentacles, but somebody who likes to give to others and put a lot of effort and a lot of time. So this makes me think of somebody, once the passion has died down a little bit, they may be at work a lot. Then you may have to be the type of person who's very independent. So you, to be honest, in your chart probably wouldn't you have an Aquarius feel to you. Aquarius is the type of person who you normally get. Aquarius are normally married to people in the forces because they like to have time to themselves. They like to be left to their own devices to basically get on with it. So this might suit you. This might suit you. This person may be away from home quite a bit, but it might suit you down to the ground. Excuse me, somebody's delivering post out there. Right. Your person, I think, is, do you know, it makes me think of like a Capricorn Aquarius feel about these pals together, more so your person. You've got the Hierophant card, which is the answer to your question, really, with what will go on once you've settled down. And this person is very traditional. They have hopes, they have aspirations, they know what they want from life, but there's got a fixed feeling about it with these sort of like pentacle cards of them knowing what they want and almost making sure that they get it. Because at the end, you've got the 7 of Wands here. The 7 of Wands, to me, here looks a little bit feisty. A little bit sort of feisty, a little bit sort of defensive, very fixed. So I think your person is very fixed in what they do. It makes me think of somebody who, once they've decided they're not going to be at home and they want to put the effort into work, then they're going to do it. Because you have the Hierophant card over that. I was trying to think, what on earth could that be? What on earth could they be very defensive about? And it's their position in life, their part in life, very traditional and very staid. Do you know, it makes me think of, and I know it's not this far ahead, you're not asking this, but of a lady who was going to retire, and she was very 6th house, very Page of Pentacles. She worked in a laboratory, is that the correct way to say it? And she loved her job and she liked the routine, and she just loved having people around her, so she did it every day. And when her husband retired, he wanted her to retire with him so they could go sailing and bits and bobs. But she wouldn't do it because she was just very stuck in her routine and what she wanted to do. And this is the feeling your person's giving me. So when the passion's there now and the attraction's there, if you settle down a bit, this person will probably be a little bit more methodical in the way that they live their life and how they expect you to fit into their life, and they have ideas and aspirations on what they want, and but they're going to make sure that you fit in on that. All right, sorry to say that, but they are, I think fixed is the word I'm thinking here. Right, you, on the other hand, are coming across as the Fool, and as I said earlier with regards to this person being away from home, you'd love it. You would probably love the time to yourself, the freedom to do what you want to do. You've got the 8th house here, which makes me think that you're somebody who thinks quite deeply and has quite a different mindset to how life shall be lived. You like the bigger picture. You probably look at alternative ways in how to structure your mind, your thoughts, and how to structure the way that you expect life to be lived, if you know what I mean. I bet you don't, because I didn't explain that very well. It makes me think of somebody who thinks in terms of, you might have studied psychology or psychiatry, and you put that into play with regards to how you live your life. And you like life to be quite detached in some way. It's like somebody who sat on a plane and you're looking down and you can see the big picture. And that's how you live your life. You've got quite a grandiose way of thinking about things. With Venus here as well, you like life to flow. It's like a Libra card of liking to communicate, you like life to be good and sweet and open, and you just like to connect with people. So you've got a more free and easy air about you. And when you settle down or afterwards, what you will be looking for is to make yourself feel good. And that's probably what your aim is in life. Your values and your aim in life are for life to be good. And it's not, this person needs to work and be recognised possibly for their work. You just have more of a bohemian edge about you, that you just want life to flow. You want to be spontaneous, you want to change your mind as you go along, and you want life to be beautiful. And with the sun next to this, you are just one big fat warm, no, I didn't mean fat, I mean fat as in oh my God, you are just one big ball of warm energy that just gives out. So it's just a feeling of expansiveness, of spontaneous, of freedom loving and grasping life. That's got a real strong feel about you. You like life to be beautiful, and you like life to have an air of something going on below the surface. So you like to rummage around behind you with the 8th house here. You like to rummage around with your thought processes. You're probably the type of person that looks into how different people think and how information is collected, and how you basically spread out your thoughts and live your life. Didn't explain that very well. But definitely a more bohemian air than this person. Creative, freedom-loving, expansive, warm and giving. Your person's more controlled. And this will probably become, when the relationship, the sexual side of the relationship becomes a little bit more routine here, then the differences might actually come out a little bit more. I'm not saying it won't work, because, couples are different, and that's how you basically bounce off each other. Yet Queen of Wands at the end for you. You are far more feisty, freedom-loving, creative, fun-loving, expansive, warm, spontaneous. You're the type of person, when people walk in on you, you would be rolling with your head back and laughing. This type of person would be, if it was a party, that would be you. You'd be on the couch with a glass of wine in your hand and roaring, laughing, and your person would be serving the drinks, because that's how they feel, as if they're useful. You feel like you're useful just by being yourself, which is a really nice quality. Right, let's just have a little bit more in-depth look to see how you two would click later on. Okay. At the moment, I think that your person, regardless of their stability in the past and the way that they have lived life, they're coming out as the Ace of Wands. So I think all these qualities inside you are rubbing off on them, and it's probably you're doing them a real favour in just being yourself. So the Ace of Wands here is somebody who's ignited that passionate part of them they didn't know they actually had, I'm thinking, with all this spread here. And you've got these qualities already. So you're actually, it's almost as if you've been brought into this person's life for a reason. It's to find out who they are and basically live life more like this. Just throwing themselves into things and less like being more observant and more controlled. And I think what is going to happen I think there's a strong sexual bond between you two at the moment. I think there's a real sort of, because you've got the Ace of Wands and the Devil. So this person's quite addicted to what they're getting from you at the moment. You make them feel passionate, which I think is probably something they haven't felt very often in other relationships. So I think that's where your bond is at the moment. You're like a new beginning to them. Right, let's just have a look at you. Do you know what it makes me feel like here, that the qualities this person has is rubbing off on you a little bit, and your qualities are rubbing off on them, and they're almost as if they're quite different qualities. Because you're coming off as the Prince of Pentacles in the past and the Princess of Swords here. So it's almost as if you've quietened your energy down a little bit. You've become a little bit more sort of practical. And I wonder whether it's to get this person's attention or whether it's just a side of you that you can bring out, and they are thinking, yeah, I can see myself in this person, but I can't quite grasp these, but I love these qualities about him or her. So I think the Four of Pentacles here, the Princess of Swords and the Prince of Pentacles down this side here, that you are meeting this person halfway. You're almost downplaying your feisty side to meet them on their more conventional side, and this person is upplaying their more conventional side to meet you on their fun-loving feisty side. So to answer the question, when your passion sizzles away a little bit, do you know what? Will your values and your personal goals be the same? My answer is no. Your values and your goals will not be the same, but that is the reason that you're together in the first place, because you are both quite different in many different ways, and I get the feeling from these two paths, it's almost as if you are pushing them together and learning together. So I think you'll always have something to exchange, because there'll always be that feeling that you're moving forward together. It makes me think of a North Node contact where you are meant to meet each other in this life to basically pull a little bit out of yourselves that you didn't actually know was there. So it's quite a nice pair in that way. You've got a fantastic feel about you here. Somebody who uses their mind to live a bigger life, somebody who researches and wants to know behind how things tick to bring out the beauty in life and to make yourself that little bit more spontaneous, that little bit more fun, that just to throw you, and I think you do that so well, you just throw yourselves into situations. You feel really good about yourself, and so you should with this part here. But on this side here, how things have progressed possibly in your relationship with this person, it's almost as if you need to downplay yourself, which you don't need to do at all, because this energy is beautiful. But I think that you need to downplay it so you don't scare this person off, who's a little bit more pedantic and likes things a little bit. This person adores you for exactly who you are. Ace of Wands and the Devil, for exactly who you are, without having to put this edge on you, which is really sweet to do that. But okay, I'm going to finish there, pile number 2. I hope that makes sense to you. So your question was, actually Soul Scientist's question was, after the passions died, will you be sharing the same values and personal goals? Possibly not, but I think that's what makes you two tick. I'm going to finish there. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see you again. Bye. Hi there, pile number 3. Let's find out with you what happens when the passion dies a little. Do you still share the same goals and the same ideals, same interests? Let's go. So, okay, your person will be down here, you will be here. pile number 3. Crikey. Right then, I don't know who you are seeing or who you're interested in, but to me, it seems like some sort of Time Lord. You have got the High Priestess here, which is something quite below the surface. It's normally some intuition or some way that they play around with, and you've got the Magician down here. It's some way that they play around with reality and how they process. Then this person takes it internally and processes it, but it's almost as if they use ways or thoughts or feelings or intuition that not many people can quite grasp, and so they have a real sort of magic quality. But with Saturn here, it makes me think of some manipulation of time in some way. And then 6th house is a surface. Your person, I think, comes across as quite practical, but I think there's something going on inside this person that not many people, I don't know if they can quite grasp. They have an awareness on how to manipulate mundane things and time that they don't even know how they do it. High Priestess. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. I had to think there. You've got the King of Pentacles here and you've got the Ace of Wands. So I'm wondering whether your person is somebody who's like an extremely good business sense. They know how to manipulate reality in so many different ways, with the Magician and the High Priestess. A really strong intuition and awareness. So it's like a boss who is like a Cancer in some ways. I know that's not Pentacle, because Cancer tend to make very good bosses because their intuition is very strong and they have sort of a bit of a defensive quality and a real sort of sturdy quality about them that makes them quite good in business for some strange reason for a water sign, which is quite hard for water people to be in positions. So this Pisces and the Magician, the Saturn, the Time, and this is some Time Lord here who has come here to do something quite specific. So really strong feeling. What am I doing? These up here, you were down here. I can't explain that really well. I'm just going to have to carry on and then hopefully it will come together a bit more. It just makes me think of somebody who's a little bit larger than life, somebody who's got a very, very good idea of what's going on below the surface, and then they can play the time game extremely well. And I don't know whether I mean that in that they bring information from past lives or whatever they are, present lives, different areas of themselves into this lifetime in a sort of very psychic, intuitive type of way. And they manipulate real fantastic pile, really strong feel of manipulating life in a not in a bad way, in just knowing how things work and having access to information and experience that not many people do have. Wow. I'm making it work. Right, you, oh my God, on the other hand, is not another hand. You are very similar. You have got the Death card twice. You have got Pluto and you have got the 5th house. So I think if this is passion that ties you together at the moment, it is huge, because the 5th house is basically the house that makes falling in love so exciting. To fall in love is a very 5th house thing, because it makes you feel like you're alive when you actually, it's just, I can't explain it. It makes you feel alive. And with the Death card and Pluto here, it's very sexual. So you're somebody who needs to have somebody strong in your life, and this person, I think, matches you with your strength and your passion and your intensity. And you've got the King card here next to the Death card. So your answer to the question is the Death card. You will always need life to be big. You don't want anybody fanning around giving you little bits of boring jobs to do, or just little bits of themselves. You want life to be big and strong and passionate, and you need somebody that you can admire. I think that you need your man or your woman or whoever you basically settle down with to make life fun and make life, you want to feel alive. The fifth house, the Three of Cups, you want to feel alive, and it's got to be done in some way, in a really deep, meaningful way, and I think passionate as well. With Pluto there in the fifth house, I can't think of anything different. So at the moment, you both match each other in, you've really strong power from both of you. You both match each other in intensity and really unusual. It's like two people that came down from another planet. It's like, yeah, we will all know what's going on. Let's show them how to do it. Right, I'm going to carry on and just have a little look, but that's the main gist of it. I'm just going to get a bit more information here. Right, I think that at the moment your person is matching you with their... I think you're drawn to them because they seem quite passionate. I think you're drawn to them because they make life fun, they make life exciting, and they lead the way with regards to their sort of a smaller passion, but you're extremely passionate in probably everything that you touch with all these cards here. This person has the way that they talk, the way that they move, they make you think that they've got energy, they've got life inside them. You know, some people, when they communicate, can be almost a bit, I'm going to say dead behind the eyes. Because with this pad, I think it's quite apt to say it. And I think you may think the same, that, you know, when you talk to people and they haven't got that spark in their eye, it's almost as if you would just basically wrap the conversation up pretty quick. And I think your person is the same. They are hiding their feelings, I think, at the moment. I don't know why. Probably because of the intensity of them. And I wonder whether the biggest issue with you two, because the Four of Wands in this position here makes me think that you like life to be big and you both like life to be intense, you like it to move. It makes me think of, like, you know, a Hollywood couple. This is such a good bio. A Hollywood couple who, you know, you think, how on earth do those people stay together? Because their lives would just look fun, and I'm sure they're not, but they're always off in different countries with different groups of people, and then somebody else is in a different country filming something else, and I think, God, that must be so exciting, to be with groups of people and moving around the world. And it makes me think that the intensity of this pile can actually be the instability in this pile in a long-term relationship, because both of you are quite intense. Let me have a look at you. Okay, you're more quietly intense. This person is probably a little bit more open with the way that they live their life. I think if there was going to be a downfall in a relationship, apart from that stability thing we've just talked about, in our more long-term goals, it would be the fact that you are more internal with your thoughts and your feelings and your passions, and you expect this person to pick it up automatically, which they probably can, to be honest, with a High Priestess here. And I wonder whether you have a jealous streak in you with the Seven of Swords here, and then the Death card and Pluto here, and then My King. It's almost, once you've chose your person, you've chosen them, and they are there, and they are, you know, basically it's a real strong bond, a real Pluto feel of, I can't think of the correct words to say without... Once you're cheated, if you were ever cheated on, that would be the end of it. I'm going to put it that way. You've got Judgment here, which is basically resurrection, to be honest. You've got Pluto, resurrection. You've got Death, hopefully resurrection. But it's all slapped up with the fifth house on the end and the Three of Cups. So your intensity is channeled into fun and feist and relationships and falling in love. So you're an all or nothing man or woman, and you need your person to be the same with you. So let's go back to the question now. If I've just crawled my way through the piles. So I don't think the passion would die with this relationship. I don't think it would at all. There's some quality inside both of you which is otherworldly to me, but it's very intense, more intense from your point of view. This person is extremely good at doing the same thing as you, but I think they're more external in the way that they live their life. They like to go out and do more, where I think you could be quite satiated with just emotions and feelings and falling in love. This person is very similar, but would need to process all this energy inside them by going out and doing things in a more mundane fashion, because they've got the Knight of Wands here. I mean, yours are very watery. You've got the Moon, and you've got like the Pluto card and the Death card, and then the Knight of Wands makes me think that this person needs to push outwards and not be so internal. So you would always share the same intensity. If anything, it would possibly be a jealous streak here with you that that could be an issue. I don't know. You're the type of person, once you've decided who you've decided you're going to love them. And you fall for people hard. Right then, so let's just have a look at the question to see if I actually answered it or just gone off on a tangent. You versus them goals, and so their goals. I say your values are very similar. Your values are strong and different, and your person's more practical. And your goals will be very similar. This person needs to give out more on a mundane sense, where you don't mind just internal experience in some ways. So that may be where you differ. Right, I'm going to finish there, pile number 3. Wow. So when the soul scientist asked for this question, she said there's a huge passion at the moment. Will it continue? This pile is a huge passion, and I don't know whether it's it's matched from both sides. The natures are matched from both sides, so I think that will always rumble along in relationships. You both feel like the same person in that way. You both have an intensity and a forward moving, making life. You want to live your life. You don't want to get to being 70 and 80 and think, where did it go? Both of you have that strong feeling. You're both very similar, like watery feistiness. Okay, I'm going to finish there, pile number 3. I hope that makes sense in some way. Thank you very much for stopping by, and I hope to see you again. Bye.